الحمد لله رب العالمين وأفضل الصلاة وأتم التسليم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما وعملا متقبلا يا أرحم الراحمين. Oh Allah, teach us what benefit us, increase us in knowledge, in good morals and in good deeds يا رب العالمين. So Alhamdulillah, we finished some of the basic asma in Arabic. المبتدا, الخبر, الفاعل, المفعول به. All these are asma, nouns. The مبتدا always مرفوع, الخبر دائما مرفوع, الفاعل دائما مرفوع, المفعول به دائما منصوب. Right? Also we learned حرف الاسم المجرور, الاسم المجرور, which comes always after حرف الجر. And we also learned مضاف إليه مجرور, مضاف إليه مجرور, which always comes after the مضاف. Now, after we learned these main nouns, we also learned some of the pronouns. And we mentioned, of course, the pronouns are part of what? Part of ism, right? In Arabic, we have فعل, حرف, and ism, right? فعل, حرف, and ism. Ism applies to nouns, to pronouns, demonstrative pronouns, relative pronouns, right? All those names of people, names of things, ideas, places, etc. Abstracts, all these are ism. In Arabic, they come under ism. طبعا, of course, الضمير or the pronoun, الضمير or the pronoun, it replaces the noun, right? I think in English, they call it pronoun because it replaces the noun, right? You can use it in place of the noun. In Arabic, we have, let's take the general division of pronouns. It is ضمائر that are apparent and ضمائر that are hidden. تمام? In Arabic, unlike English, we have ضمير ظاهر and ضمير مستتر. تمام؟ ضمير ظاهر and ضمير مستتر. So one more time, ضمائر are words or asma, let's say, considered asma, right? Usually these asma are short asma, right? Like when we say antuma, that's a ضمير, right? Antuma. But you won't find like big words that are ضمائر. They are usually short. Sometimes one letter, especially when it is connected to the asma or to the af'al. تمام? So they are words that are used to denote, right, or to refer to, right, to refer to what? People, أشخاص, or أشياء. تدل على أشخاص أو أشياء means to denote or to refer to people or things. Why? In order not to mention them again. So just for like abbreviation, right? Just like for abbreviation. For abbreviation. For example, I say Ahmad came and Ahmad ate and Ahmad did his homework. So that will be boring, right? To keep repeating the name of the person, right? So instead, the people do what? Ahmad came and ate and did his homework, for example, right? So you don't have to repeat. So you say Ahmad ate and he did this and he did that. So you just use he, and he did that and he did this and he brought his book, etc. So that's why they use pronouns in all languages. Now, those pronouns in Arabic, they are either ظاهر or مستتر. ظاهر means what يا شيخ صهيب?
Apparent.
ظاهر apparent and مستتر hidden. مستتر hidden. تمام. مستتر means hidden. Okay, ضمير in English, do we have this division? No. In English, all pronouns are, what do you guys think?
ظاهر.
Actually, we have. When I say thank you, where is the fa'il?
Me. I thank you.
Exactly. So even in English, we have ضمائر مستترة. In some cases, we have. Even in English, we have ضمير مستتر, right? When I say thank you, where is the fa'il? It says I, it means I thank you, right? It means I thank you, right? Did we add the new sister to the group? I think we did, right? Okay. Okay. Tamam. So we have guys in Arabic, in English also, hidden pronouns. Let me add this example because I forgot about it. So when we say thank you, I is mustatir. I cannot think of another example now. But anyway, sometimes in English, the dhamir will be mustatir. The fa'il will be mustatir. And
Well,
that's why some people don't know it. Some people like get confused. Like, what does that mean? Yeah.
well, all of the conjugations like that are, I mean, mustatir. You say thank you, bless you, bless who? Who's blessing? It's God, isn't it? Or whoever the.
Yeah. So there is
Yeah.
dhamir mustatir in English.
Yeah.
Now الضمير البارز هو الذي يظهر في النطق والكتابة والضمير المستتر هو المختفي. Okay, that's understood. The bariz is mentioned literally, is mentioned in the word, in the sentence. You can see it. The mustatir in Arabic means hidden. تمام. Hidden means what? You don't see it, right? So when we say, for example, نحن طلاب مجتهدون. نحن طلاب مجتهدون. So obviously نحن is the pronoun, right? Which means what? نحن means what?
We.
We learned those pronouns. Those are called what? Who remember what do we call those pronouns? We call them what? ضمائر الرفع, right? ضمائر الرفع المنفصلة. We learned those. We learned them. By the way, I'm reviewing all ضمائر, but we have only two types of ضمائر left, or one type. All of the other ones we covered them already. But I'm gonna give you a quick review of all of them. So نحن طلاب. نحن is ضمير رفع منفصل. ضمير. When we make إعراب for ضمائر which are ظاهرة, which are apparent, we don't have to say ضمير ظاهر. ماشي. We're gonna just say ضمير. Now we're gonna specify, is this ضمير رفع or نصب or ضمير رفع or ضمير نصب, or we don't say ضمير جر, ضمير في محل جر. One more time. ضمير رفع or ضمير نصب or ضمير في محل جر, in the position of جر. تمام. So نحن ضمير رفع. Now we say منفصل or متصل. So basically here it's منفصل. ضمير رفع منفصل. Let me show you so that you get a little bit more engaged. ضمير رفع منفصل. نحن, right? Now ضمائر in Arabic are always مبنية. What does that mean?
They don't change the i'rab.
means they always have the same حركة at the end, right? They always have the same
حركة.
they change, their إعراب changes. They could be in the position of رفع or نصب or jar. Even one pronoun.
I meant حركة, sorry.
One pronoun like na could be in the position, it's always مبني على السكون na, but could be in the position of رفع or نصب or jar. Could be in the position of رفع or نصب or jar, and we'll come to the examples. We will come to the examples. If I say أكلنا means we ate. So na here is the فاعل, is in the position of رفع. أتانا, na here in the position of نصب. إلينا, na here in the position of jar. تمام? So the same pronoun, they are all of the pronouns مبنية. مبنية means what? The حركة, their حركة doesn't change. Their حركة doesn't change. Their حركة doesn't change. So that is for the ضمائر. So always you're gonna say مبني على something. So ضمير منفصل or متصل, you're gonna say it's connected or disconnected, and then you're gonna say what? مبني على something, which is the حركة at its end, right? So نحن is مبني على what? نحن مبني على الضمة, right?
Yeah.
ضمير منفصل مبني على الضمة. Now, what's the إعراب here? Who knows? نحن
فاعل.
فاعل. Where is the فعل?
Oh, sorry. مبتدأ.
So ضمير منفصل مبني على الضم في محل رفع مبتدأ.
No.
في محل رفع مبتدأ. In the position of مبتدأ مرفوع. Then
Sure.
طلاب is the خبر. مجتهدون is صفة for طلاب. So ضمير, so this is an example of ضمير بارز, which is apparent, which is hidden. Now if we say محمد or محمد يلعب بالكرة. محمد يلعب بالكرة. محمد, what's the إعراب of محمد?
مبتدأ مرفوع. No. Yeah, مبتدأ.
Yeah.
مبتدأ مرفوع.
If you say يلعب محمد بالكرة, if you say يلعب محمد بالكرة, what's the إعراب of محمد here?
فاعل مرفوع.
فاعل. Why? Because after the فعل, يلعب is فعل. After the فعل, we need to look for the فاعل. We need to look for the فاعل. So the word محمد here is فاعل. يلعب محمد بالكرة جار مجرور. جار مجرور. Now in the sentence محمد يلعب بالكرة. محمد يلعب بالكرة. Where is the فاعل in this sentence?
اسم مستتر.
مستتر.
Yeah.
Semantically, who's the فاعل? Semantically.
In the
meaning. Yeah, in the meaning. Who's the
فاعل?
Muhammad.
It's still Muhammad, right? But what we don't say a فاعل. Why? We mentioned this a lot. If you remember before, we said if the فاعل comes in the beginning, semantically it remains a فاعل, but in إعراب we say it's what?
مبتدأ.
It's a مبتدأ. Because you want to tell something about him or about it. Muhammadun is still in both sentences, he is the one who's playing with the ball, right? But in the second one we say he's mubtada. It is mubtada. Why? Because you're starting with it. You're gonna tell us something about him. So Muhammadun is mubtada مرفوع علامة رفعه الضمة الظاهرة على آخره. يلعب is what? فعل مضارع وعلامة رفعه الضمة الظاهرة. Right? يلعب فعل مضارع. When فعل مضارع has no connection, you can write it down. When فعل مضارع, we're gonna come to this in details later, but a quick note. فعل مضارع when, and we took some of the patterns of فعل مضارع, the main أوزان of the main أفعال, or all of the مجرد أفعال, right? The أفعال مضارع that doesn't have extra letters, right? We learn them. فعل يفعل 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 يفعل, right? All of them we learned those. مجرد and some of the مزيد ones, some of the ones that have extra letters, like يفعل. We learned those. When فعل مضارع doesn't connect to any pronoun, it has to be مرفوع with ضمة. Unless it is معتل, for example, then the ضمة will not be apparent. For example, if we say يجري, we don't say يجري, right? So the ضمة sometimes is مقدرة. So let's put it this way. فعل مضارع, when it doesn't connect to any pronoun, it has to be مضارع مرفوع with ضمة. فعل مضارع always مرفوع if it doesn't have like something to make it منصوب or مجزوم. So فعل مضارع, if it doesn't connect to a pronoun and is not preceded by نصب or جزم tools or letters, let's say, then it has to be مرفوع with ضمة. That ضمة could be ظاهرة or مقدرة. ظاهرة or مقدرة. Either an apparent ضمة like يلعب, or an estimated or assumed ضمة like يجري. When you say يجري, you don't see any ضمة because the Arabs don't say يجري, but it is assumed. Well, why we don't say it? Because it's heavy in pronunciation. That's why in Arabic they say الضمة المقدرة على الياء منع من ظهورها الثقل. Okay? الضمة المقدرة على الياء ومنع من ظهورها الثقل. Okay, so back here, محمد يلعب فعل مضارع مرفوع علامة رفعه الضمة الظاهرة على آخره. Now بالكرة, we know بالكرة جار and مجرور. And here another point, maybe I forgot to tell you last time about جار and مجرور. Whenever جار and مجرور comes after a فعل, it has to be connected with that فعل. So جار and مجرور, if you remember, and all of this again revision, huh? But just some additions, some little additions here and there. جار and مجرور, if you remember, they don't give a full meaning by themselves, right? If you say with the ball, if I say بالكرة, with the ball, or on the table, or to Damascus, or from Al-Qudus, from Jerusalem, you don't understand a full meaning, right? So jar and majroor always has to be متعلق or متعلقان. الجار والمجرور what? الجار والمجرور يجب أن يكونا متعلقان ويكونا هما متعلقين ب something. If there is a فعل before the jar majroor, they have to be connected or متعلقان with that فعل. They are متعلقان with that فعل. For example, here بالكرة, with the ball. This jar majroor with the ball, it's connected with what? Connected with يلعب. يلعب بالكرة. What is بالكرة? يلعب بالكرة. تمام؟ يلعب بالكرة. تمام؟ But if I say طائر على الشجرة. Listen, if I say طار فوق الشجرة, for example, or طار إلى السماء, طار إلى السماء, it flew to the sky. إلى السماء, it's connected with what? With طار, with the فعل. But if I say طائر, طائر, okay, فوق الشجرة, or not فوق الشجرة, let's say طائر على الطاولة, a bird on the table. On the table, this is جار المجرور. With what it is متعلق? متعلق with what?
hidden فعل.
Huh?
Yeah, hidden فعل.
No hidden فعل. There's no hidden فعل. Then it's connected. You remember we mentioned this last time. You remember this? We said when the jar and majroor, we said jar and majroor, when they can come themselves the khabar or متعلقان بخبر.
Oh yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
We said طائر مبتدا. Now على الطاولة, this is شبه جملة, this is a phrase, jar and majroor. And we said the scholars, they say متعلقان بخبر محذوف تقديره كائن, which means is or existent. تمام. طائر موجود على الطاولة. That's why we add an is when we translate. So we say the bird is on the table. So that is what? That is the khabar in Arabic. تمام. So the jar and majroor, if they come after a fi'l, then they are متعلقان, they are connected with that fi'l, like here يلعب بالكرة, right? يركض إلى المنتزه. But if they are not, if they don't come after fi'l, then they are connected with an ism. For example, like mostly it will be like خبر, right? متعلقان بخبر محذوف تقديره كائن أو موجود, or based on the sentence. So come back here. Now we understood محمد مبتدأ. يلعب, we did not give the full إعراب for يلعب. We said فعل مضارع, but that is يلعب as what? As a word, as a word, as a vocabulary, as one vocabulary, as one word. But as a sentence, what is يلعب? The إعراب of يلعب?
The خبر.
خبر, yeah. We learned many examples about this. So we said يلعب as a word is فعل. Now, if someone asks, okay, Muhammadun, you said mubtada, where is the khabar? There must be a khabar.
يلعب.
Where is the khabar? We say يلعب is جملة فعلية في محل رفع خبر. And that is semantically, that makes full sense. Muhammadun, okay, you're going to say, what about him? يلعب بالكرة, right? So that's the news about him. He's playing with the ball. تمام? يلعب as a word is فعل مضارع. As a sentence, it's the khabar for Muhammad. Now, whenever there is a mubtada, there has to be a khabar. And whenever there is a fi'l, there has to be a fa'il. Tamam? Whenever there is a mubtada, there has to be a khabar. And whenever there is a fi'l, there has to be a fa'il. Muhammadun mubtada, the sentence of yal'abu is khabar. Yal'abu is fa'il, then huwa is the fa'il. So يلعب يحتاج إلى فاعل. الفاعل ضمير مستتر, means يلعب هو بالكرة. And why we don't say يلعب هو? Because people used to just shorten the words. They don't want to add more words, especially when it is understood, right? So محمد يلعب بالكرة, يلعب هو. So the فاعل is هو. And really in إعراب, يعني in Syria, we never learned to say in such sentences, to say the fa'il is huwa and it is mustatir. Okay, we don't do that. Anyway, So this is an idea, guys, about what? ضمير ظاهر and ضمير مستتر. But we learned ضمير مستتر not in that case, in different cases that we will explain to you. The scholars like Ibn Aqil, he says that type of ضمير مستتر, sometimes you have to hide it, مستتر وجوبا, and that's what we learned. And we used that in I'rab in Syria, or مستتر جوازا, and we also used that, but not for the fa'il, not for the fa'il, or not for that type of example. I never remember we said that the fa'il ضمير مستتر تقديره هو in those types of sentences, but yeah, maybe in similar sentences. Anyway, we're gonna use that. We say واجب مستتر وجوبا تقديره أنت, for example, or مستتر جوازا تقديره هو. So let's give you quick examples on that. Quick examples. If I say أكتب الدرس, أكتب is what? أكتب, يلا guys, أكتب, I write, أكتب, I'm writing.
فعل مضارع
أكتب
مرفوع.
فعل مضارع, right? أفعل, أكتب أفعل, فعل, كتب, يفعل, يفعل, يكتب, أفعل, أكتب. We learned that. وزن, فعل مضارع مرفوع وعلامة رفعه الضمة. Nothing connected with it, nothing before it. So فعل مضارع مرفوع وعلامة رفعه الضمة. Simple فعل مضارع. أكتب, that's the فعل. الدرس, يلا, what's the إعراب? We learned all that, huh? الدرس, guys, يلا.
مفعول به
مفعول
منصوب.
به منصوب وعلامة نصبه الفتحة الظاهرة على آخره. Singular. المسلم, المسلمة, المسلمي. الدرس, الدرس, الدرسي. Where is the فاعل?
الزميل مستتر in أكتب.
So here we're gonna say what? أكتب.
أنا.
Listen, when we translate into English, what do we say? I write. Look, I. We mentioned the pronoun. In English, in Arabic, most of the time, the pronoun included in the verb itself, right? Right or no?
Yeah.
The ضمير is included in the what? In the فعل. أكتب, I write. نكتب, look, na. نكتب,
we
we write. تكتب, you write. يكتب, he writes. تمام? So in Arabic, the ضمير or the فعل includes the فاعل most of the time. Okay, and that فاعل, we know it by, not by a full pronoun, by something that indicates or denotes that pronoun. So here نكتب, this na, it refers to نحن نكتب. This ta, تكتب, it refers to أنت تكتب. This ya refers to هو يكتب. Right? تمام? So أكتب الدرس. Now, still, this na is not the pronoun by itself. Is it, ya Sheikh Suhaib? Is the na the pronoun? No. Is the ta the pronoun? We never learned there's a ta that comes in the beginning and is a pronoun, right? But that letter refers to the pronoun, denotes the pronoun. Where is the pronoun? أكتب أنا الدرس. أكتب أنا الدرس. So that is ضمير. مستتر, hidden, is not there. Hidden, ضمير مستتر. تمام? وجوبا, they say وجوبا. وجوبا means what? وجوبا means you have to hide it. You should not mention it. So here, listen what we say. أكتب الدرس. We say أكتب فعل مضارع مرفوع والفاعل. Listen, I'm going to write it for you so that if you want to write it.
Mhm.
والفاعل ضمير مستتر ضمير مستتر وجوبا. What does وجوبا mean? Necessarily means it has to be hidden. تقديره means what? تقديره means what? Its estimation or its assumption to be is أنا. تمام؟ والفاعل ضمير مستتر وجوبا تقديره أنا. If you want a full إعراب, that's the full إعراب. أكتب فعل مضارع مرفوع وعلامة رفعه الضمة الظاهرة على آخره. Okay. والفاعل, then we say والفاعل. Always when you have the فعل, you have to mention the فاعل. So we say والفاعل ضمير مستتر وجوبا تقديره أنا. الدرس مفعول به منصوب وعلامة نصبه الفتحة الظاهرة على آخره. تمام. So this is just to give you like a full understanding, inshallah, of how we make the i'rab and how we understand those sentences. So you cannot say أكتب أنا الدرس. Okay.
Could you not say it to exaggerate the fact that you yourself did it?
Sometimes we mention the pronouns, the disconnected pronouns, we say it for تأكيد, for emphasis. For emphasis. And this will come inshallah later in some examples, like إن ربك هو يفصل, for example. Okay. الضمير المستتر في الفعل المضارع الذي أوله نون. نكتب الدرس. Same thing. I just told you about this, right? نكتب الدرس means نحن. نكتب نحن الدرس. Same thing. In these cases, they're saying the ضمير has to be hidden. Same thing. تكتب. لماذا لا تكتب الدرس؟ تكتب أنت. Same thing. اكتب. If I say write, means you write, right? If I say in English, write the lesson, write your lesson, write your homework, for example. This means, where's the file? You, right? You write. Okay? So الضمير مستتر في فعل الأمر للواحد المذكر. اكتب. اكتب أنت الدرس. Right? اكتب أنت الدرس. Now, sometimes, so that's the general rule, guys. The general rule, we don't mention the pronoun in those cases. It has to be hidden. It has to be hidden, right? In English, you have it. You don't say write the lesson, because in English, the فعل is the same. I write, you write, he writes, she writes, right? The فعل is the same. How do I know the فاعل? They mention the pronoun. I write, you write, he writes. Tamam? Clear? In Arabic, there is a letter in the فعل that tells you about the فاعل. And that's why you have to learn them. أنا أكتب. When you want to talk about أنت تكتب. هو يكتب. أنتما تكتبان. هما يكتبان, etc. So you have to learn those, what conjugations of the أفعال with every pronoun, right? أنا أكتب, نحن نكتب, أنت تكتب, أنت تكتبين, أنتما تكتبان, right? هو يكتب, هي تكتب, هما يكتبان, هما تكتبان, هم يكتبون, هن يكتبن. So you learn all those, right? And we learned already some of them.
لو سمحتم, I think even in English, I think we don't have the pronoun explicitly. When I'm ordering, not in a negative way, but if I say do that or write that or leave that, I don't precede it with you write that, you do that. No, I just say write it, do it, leave it.
Yeah, this is what we mentioned in the beginning, that even in English we have hidden pronouns, right? We mentioned that when I say thank you means I thank you. Do it means you do it. So same thing. So that's another example of hidden pronouns in English, right? If I say do your homework.
No, that's clear because you're saying your. But if you were to make it into a
you do your homework, etc. So the point is, yes, we have hidden pronouns also in English. Now let's look at Surah Al-Ma'idah, chapter 5, ayah 24. فَاذْهَبْ أَنْتَ وَرَبُّكَ. When the people of Sayyidina Musa, they said to him, فَاذْهَبْ, let's take it here, فَاذْهَبْ أَنْتَ وَرَبُّكَ. Do you see it? When they said to Sayyidina Musa, فَاذْهَبْ وَرَبُّكَ فَقَاتِلًا. فَاذْهَبْ فعل أمر, right? Where is the فاعل? أنت. So if we say فَاذْهَبْ فعل أمر, if it's not mentioned فَاذْهَبْ وَرَبُّكَ means فَاذْهَبْ أنت, then we would have said اذهب فعل أمر مبني على السكون الظاهر على آخره, then we say والفاعل ضمير مستتر وجوبا تقديره أنت. فاذهب أنت. But when we see it there, this means what? This means the one who's saying it wants to emphasize. So then we say أنت, we say ضمير, okay, ضمير رفع, ضمير رفع منفصل, it's disconnected, منفصل. في محل what? In the position of what?
فاعل.
فاعل, exactly, in the position of رفع فاعل, and it's mentioned for emphasis. تمام. It's مذكور for emphasis. If we look here, فإعراب, we'll see, for example, let's see what he's saying here in إعراب for this. For example, he's saying اذهب, listen, فعل أمر أيوة والفاعل ضمير مستتر تقديره أنت, then أنت ضمير منفصل مبني في محل رفع توكيد لضمير المستتر فاعل اذهب. أيوة. So here he's saying that this أنت is توكيد for the hidden أنت. So that's maybe another way of understanding that. But anyway, if you see it, this means it's mentioned just for emphasis. Okay. اكتب أنت الدرس, we said that. المراد بجائز الاستتار ما يحل, وهو يتحدث الآن عن جائز الاستتار وهو يحل. Okay. Now مستتر جائز. So that pronoun was what? واجب الاستتار, means you have to hide it. You can't mention it unless you want to emphasize. Okay. And we're not going to get into like the details. This anta is tawkid for the hidden anta. خلاص. Let's say this is the fa'il. Okay. And it is anta is the fa'il. Now, جائز الاستتار. محمد يلعب بالكرة. محمد, we said مبتدأ, يلعب خبر. And as a word is a فعل. And where is the fa'il? يلا, who can tell me the fa'il here? محمد يلعب. Where is the fa'il?
ضمير مستتر هو.
هو, right? يلعب هو بالكرة. محمد يلعب هو بالكرة. تمام. This ضمير مستتر جائز الاستتار لأنه من الممكن أن يحل محله الاسم الظاهر. فنقول محمد يلعب أخوه بالكرة. Okay, so okay. So he's giving you the criteria or the rule to help you understand or determine when it is hidden necessarily and when it is hidden optionally, let's say جوازا. تمام. He's telling you when you can replace the hidden pronoun with an ism ظاهر, a clear pronoun, then that pronoun which is hidden, it is hidden optionally, right? It's hidden unnecessarily. Yani you don't have to hide it. For example, he's saying, when we say محمد يلعب بالكرة, can we say محمد يلعب أخوه بالكرة? We can say that. We can say Muhammad يلعب his brother with the ball. So Muhammadun, his brother is playing with the ball. You can say that. And that's why you can say Muhammadun yal'abu huwa bil kura. For example, Muhammadun yal'abu huwa bil kura. Same thing if we say Hind tudhakiru dars. Hind is reviewing the lesson. You can say Hind tudhakiru hiya dars. Because you can say Hindun tudhakiru ukhtuha dars. Hind, her sister is reviewing the lesson. So this is from Imam Ibn Aqil, a way to distinguish between ضمير مستتر وجوبا and ضمير مستتر جوازا. Okay, you don't have to يعني get confused with this. This is just to give you an idea, like how they analyze and how they understand those ضمائر. For you, when you see the ضمير, okay, it's clear. If you don't see the fa'il or the khabar, you will know that it is mustatir. Tamam. Now, when you speak, when you want to emphasize, you can add the pronoun. Tamam. You can add the pronoun. And another thing, always they taught us when the dhamir is anta or anti or antuma or nahnu, that will be mustatir wujuban. Means you have to hide it. But when it is huwa, hiya, huma, etc., then mustatir jawazan. You don't have to hide it. It's optional. Tamam? That is, if you like, a summary. So we always say ضمير مستتر وجوبا تقديره أنت or أنتِ or أنتما or نحن. So basically ضمائر المتكلم والمخاطب. If you want, in other words, we can say المستترة وجوبا هي ضمائر المتكلم والمخاطب. Who can tell me what that means? يلا guys.
متكلم والمخاطب. متكلم is we. متكلم like نحن.
And أنا.
Yeah. And
So
أنا.
المستترة وجوبا, the ضمائر that are necessarily hidden, that have to be hidden, are what? ضمائر المتكلم. How did we translate ضمائر المتكلم? The first person pronouns. What are those ضمائر, uncle? The متكلم pronouns, there are two ضمائر in Arabic. What are they?
So أنا and نحن.
Exactly. المخاطب. So المتكلم, the speaker or the speakers. المخاطب.
أنت.
صهيب. المخاطب.
Second person.
Or the addressee or the addressees, right? Anta, anti, antum, antuma, antunna. Those pronouns, they always have to be hidden when they are fa'il, for example, unless you want to emphasize. While ضمائر الغائب, the third person singular, or the third person in general, or the absent, the absentee, if that's correct to say, that are, those ضمائر are mustatira jawazan. You can hide them, you can mention them. محمد يلعب هو بالكرة. We said محمد مبتدأ يلعب فعل فاعل ومستتر جوازا تقديره هو. الضمير هو توكيد لفظي للضمير المستتر. اسكن أنت وزر في الجملة صحيح إذا أردنا التأكيد، خاطئة إذا لم نرد التأكيد. So when you want to emphasize you can mention either of them whether they are متكلم or غائب. Okay. Okay, there might be some little other like details. We're not going to get into all those يعني advanced levels. Okay, we said ضمائر مبنية because the حركة at the end does not change, but we said they always have a position in إعراب. تمام. So they will be in the position of رفع or نصب or جر. Okay. إياك نعبد. إياك نعبد. إياك, we learned those if you remember, right? ضمير منفصل. That's ضمير نصب, you remember? ضمائر النصب. إياي, إياك, إياه, إياهما, إيانا, etc. So إياك ضمير بارز منفصل. ضمير منفصل مبني على الفتح. إياك في محل نصب مفعول به مقدم. In the position of مفعول به that is advanced, mentioned in the beginning. إيا, so this إياك is originally إيا is the ضمير and the kaf is the letter for خطاب, for addressing the person, because we have إياه, we have إيايا, we have إيانا. So basically إيا is the ضمير and kaf is another, is a letter for to determine what who you are talking to or talking about. Now نعبد فعل مضارع مرفوع والفاعل ضمير مستتر وجوبا تقديره نحن. تمام. This is an example. Now here, so basically it is usually we say نعبدك. نعبدك. We worship you. نعبدك. We worship you. نعبدك, we worship you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said what? He taught us to say what? And he said what? إياك نعبد. When you put the مفعول به in the front, this means what? حصر, اختصاص, right? Exclusion. You alone we worship. تمام. إياك نعبد. You alone we worship. تمام. So إياك, that's the مفعول به. نعبد فعل. Where is the فاعل? Where is the فاعل in this sentence?
مستتر.
Continue. وجوبا or جوازا?
وجوبا.
وجوبا. Why?
Because it's first person.
Because نحن. تمام. إياك نحن نعبد. تمام. Okay. وإنا أو إياكم لعلى هدى أو في ضلال مبين. Okay. We did not learn إن and كان. We're gonna skip that. إياك الكذب. Okay. Okay. Now we can come to, so now we're done with ضمير المستتر. ضمير مستتر, sometimes it's hidden necessarily, you have to hide it. Sometimes it's optional, and if you mention it, then it's for emphasis. We're done with ضمير المستتر. Any question about that? Any question about ضمير المستتر, the hidden pronoun? All clear? Okay. Let's come now then to الضمير الظاهر. Who can remind me what type, how many types we have of ضمير ظاهر in Arabic? ضمير ظاهر means the pronoun that is mentioned literally in the word, in the sentence, that you can see it in the sentence. Huh? Who remember? منفصل and متصل, right? ضمير منفصل disconnected pronoun that is by itself, and ضمير متصل, it's connected, and this ضمير متصل can be connected to a فعل or اسم or حرف. This is very important so that you know how to do the إعراب. ضمير متصل, when the pronoun is connected in Arabic, can it connect to an اسم? Yes. فعل? Yes. حرف? Yes. We learned how you connect it to a فعل. And we're going to learn how to connect to an اسم or حرف. So ضمير ظاهر, either منفصل or متصل. Let's take the منفصل first. And we already covered that. What are the ضمائر منفصلة in Arabic? First of all, in English, do we have ضمير متصل, by the way? Do we have connected pronouns in English? Not at
No.
all. Not at all. In English, all the pronouns, they're separate. I, you, he, him, her, etc. They're separate pronouns. In Arabic, we have both. We have both. If I want to say my book, in English, we see my, separate word. Book, separate word. In Arabic, we say kitabi as one word. Tamam? And the connected pronouns, do they connect to the word from the beginning or they come at the end of the word in Arabic?
At the end.
Always at the end. So you need always to look, when you want to look for the pronoun, the connected pronoun, you look at the end of the word. You don't start searching in the letters like nektubu. So this noon is a pronoun. No. This noon, as I told you, it refers to the pronoun, but it's not a pronoun, huh? Tamam? Aktubu, this hamza is not a pronoun. Yaktubu is not a pronoun. This letter refers to the pronoun. Tamam? The pronoun aktubu ana, yaktubu huwa, naktubu nahnu. So the ضمير is منفصل or متصل. The منفصل, how many types? منفصل pronouns in Arabic, we learned them. How many? Only two. Only two. ضمير رفع منفصل, ضمائر رفع منفصلة, and ضمائر نصب. نصب. يلا, what are ضمائر رفع?
أنت أنتما أنتم أنتي أنتما أنتن.
So always with ضمائر الرفع, I gave you a way so that you don't forget any of them. So you don't forget any of them. This is a chart here. It shows you still can see my Word file, right? You can see the Word file that I'm sharing.
Yeah, I can see.
So as you can see here, the two types, ظاهر, the main two types, ظاهر, apparent, مستتر, hidden. What we covered so far is the hidden one, this one here. مستتر, جوازا, optionally, and وجوبا, necessarily. The jawazan, when it is huwa or hiya, or huma, means when the pronoun is what? Third person. But when it is the second person, the addressee, or the first person, the speaker, wujuban, you have to hide it. Okay, أحب الشعر, I love poetry, means أحب أنا الشعر. Okay, نقدر المعلم, we appreciate the teacher, means نحن. نقدر نحن المعلم. هل تطيع والدتك? Do you obey your parents? هل تطيع أنت? Okay, أنت. أقم الصلاة, أقم أنت الصلاة. And here's another rule, that the mustatir pronoun will always be either فاعل or نائب فاعل. تمام? We'll learn the نائب فاعل later, but for now, ضمير مستتر will always be the فاعل. So you're not going to be confused like about خبر to be a ضمير. No. When ضمير is مستتر, it will be a فاعل or نائب فاعل. نائب فاعل, like the word that replaces the fa'il or in place of the fa'il. So that's ضمير مستتر. Now let's look at the right side, which is what? الضمير الظاهر. As you can see here, الضمير الظاهر, how many types? منفصل, متصل. Now, the منفصل, how many types? Only two. رفع and نصب. رفع and نصب. يلا. Who can remind me of the رفع? What's the way we learn them so that you don't forget any of them? Start with the first person. يلا, what's the ضمائر رفع for the first person?
أنا
أنا, نحن. Now second person. أنت,
أنت أنتما أنتم أنتن
أنتن. Third person.
هو هي هما
هما,
هم
هم and هن.
right.
تمام? Those are called ضمائر what? رفع. رفع. So they will be in the position of what? رفع.
Right.
They're called ضمائر رفع, right? They'll always be in the position of رفع. Of رفع what? They'll be in the position of رفع what? Huh?
رفع.
They could be مبتدأ, أنا مسلم, نحن مسلمون. They could be خبر, هذا هو زيد. They could be فاعل, they could be نائب فاعل. Okay? We learned before that they are فاعل only, but that is one case. Okay? So ضمائر الرفع could be in the position of مبتدأ مرفوع or خبر مرفوع or فاعل مرفوع or نائب فاعل مرفوع. تمام? How it is in the position of خبر, and that we'll explain this later a little bit because it's more detailed. But what we learned so far, if you remember, it's what? مبتدأ, right? If you remember, we said the مبتدأ can be اسم ظاهر or disconnected pronoun, or what else? A third category, demonstrative pronoun. Do you remember? أنا مسلم. الرجل, let's say مسلم. Okay? And هذا مسلم. This is a Muslim. So the ضمير, the مبتدأ can be an اسم ظاهر, a clear pronoun, mentioned pronoun, اسم, noun, a clear noun, or demonstrative pronoun, or disconnected pronoun, ضمير منفصل, like أنا, أنت, أنت. تمام? Do you remember? That's the type of مبتدأ we mentioned before. Now, ضمائر النصب, we just mentioned one of them. إياي, إيانا, إياك, إياك, إياكما, إياكم, إياكن, إياه, إياها, إياهما, إياهم, إياهن. And these are always in the position of what? ضمائر نصب, in the position of مفعول به. And that مفعول به could come in the beginning, like إياك نعبد, or إياك أعني, or مفعول به مؤخر, ما أكرمت إلا إياك. I did not honor except for you, or except you. So it could be مفعول به at the end, not necessarily always in the front. And it could be معطوف, and we learned that also later. But for now, what we learned, إياك, تمام, as مفعول به مقدم. إياك نعبد. Now, what is left? الضمير المتصل. الضمير المتصل, and I think we completed our hour now. That's what we will, inshallah, finish next time. And this is something we already covered. ضمائر المتصلة, we learned the رفع. ضمائر متصلة, 3 types, as you can see here. ضمائر that are always in the position of رفع. تمام. ضمائر that are always in the position of نصب or jar. ضمائر, or which is one ضمير that could be in the position of رفع or نصب or jar based on the sentence. تمام. Which one of these we covered? Which one of these we covered before in the previous classes? You guys forgot? Do you remember we learned تاء الفاعل المتحركة؟ أكلت، أكلت، أكلتي، أكلتما، أكلتم، أكلتن, right? This is called تاء الفاعل. تاء of the فاعل. It's always in the position of رفع. Why? Because it's تاء of the فاعل and the فاعل always مرفوع. Right? Right? Okay. ألف الاثنين. ألف of the dual. We also learned that. أكلا، أكلتا، شربا، شربتا. Right? They both ate, they both drank. So that's فاعل مرفوع. So تاء الفاعل. ألف الاثنين. What else before I move down? If you remember the chart and how you conjugate the فعل with the verbs, you should remember. أكلت، أكلت، أكلتما، أكلتم، أكلا. Then what we say? أكلوا. What is that واو?
جمع.
واو الجماعة. Right? واو الجماعة. It's in the position of رفع فاعل. Right? Always in the position of رفع فاعل. Right? واو الجماعة. Here it is. واو الجماعة. Right? أكلوا، شربوا, they ate, they drank. لعبوا, they played. It comes at the end. We took that already. This is just a quick review. Listen, once you learn all of the pronouns, a big door will open in front of you in the Quran and understanding Arabic, because every single line in the Quran and every single hadith, almost you will find a pronoun, one of these types of pronouns, almost in every sentence, almost in every line in the Quran, you will see a pronoun, definitely. So once you understand all those pronouns and their i'rab and their position, that will help you inshallah and open for you a new door. So ضمائر الرفع تاء الفاعل ألف الاثنين واو الجماعة ياء المخاطبة. ياء المخاطبة. What is ياء المخاطبة? Who knows? ياء المؤنثة المخاطبة. Huh? تأكلين، تشربين، تلعبين, you play, you eat. Okay? تأكلين. So that's ياء of ياء المؤنثة المخاطبة. Okay? نون النسوة. نون النسوة. أكلنا. ها؟ أكلنا. They ate means the women. شربنا. لعبنا. تمام? That's نون. Alhamdulillah. نون النسوة. Noon of the women, right? And it is فاعل and could be نائب فاعل. نائب فاعل, we're going to learn it later. Inshallah. Could be something else. But generally, or not generally, always they are in the position of رفع. But رفع what? For now, let's say رفع فاعل. ماشي? رفع فاعل. Any question about these pronouns? How many pronouns are those? And those will help us when we talk about أفعال. They're very important. Okay? They say الأفعال الخمسة. الأفعال الخمسة are the verbs. We're going to learn them. They have separate rule. They are verbs that are connected with ألف الاثنين or واو الجماعة or ياء المؤنثة المخاطبة. Okay? Any question about the رفع pronouns? Those are رفع all the time. All the time. تاء الفاعل, ألف الاثنين, واو الجماعة, ياء المؤنثة المخاطبة, and نون النسوة. أكلنا means they ate. يأكلنا, they eat. تمام? Okay. If you say كلنا, you eat, and you're talking to the women. So they are always in the position of fa'il. Not fa'il, sorry. Rafa. Could be fa'il, could be na'ib fa'il, could be some two other things. We will leave the last two types of pronouns, inshallah, for next time. They are Dhamaa'ir. 3 Dhamaa'ir that could be nasab or jar, and you have to know from the sentence. And 1 dhamir that can be rafa' or nasab or jar. I told you in the beginning it is na. Na, if you remember, na dalla ala al-fa'ilin, then it's fa'il. Akalna. And if it is connected with if it's connected with a fi'l like akramana, could be maf'ul bihi, in the position of maf'ul bihi, or fa'il. It depends on the sentence and on the context and on the verb. If it connects to harf jar, it has to be in the position of jar. إلينا, إلينا, علينا, تمام. منا, عنا, right? All this na in the position of jar. Finally, and you can take this rule for all pronouns. For all pronouns, any pronoun connected to a noun, it must be in the position of jar. That's a rule without exception. Any pronoun that is connected to a noun, it has to be in the position of jar mudaf ilayh in particular. In the position of jar mudaf ilayh. Tamam? You got this rule? Any pronoun connected to an ism, that pronoun always will be in the position of jar mudaf ilayh. Well, what if it is connected to a harf? Who can tell me harf jar? It must be what? In the position of what?
Sure.
jar بحرف الجر. jar of يعني اسم مجرور, right? To be jar بحرف الجر, or in the position of jar اسم مجرور. So that is now basically what's left is only the examples. So I gave you 3 examples about na when it is in the position of rafa' or nasab or jar, right? We said when it connects to an ism, it will be mudaf ilayh. When it connects to harf, it will be ism majroor, and it will be fa'il when it is connected to fa'il madi, right? When it's connected to fa'il madi, akramana or akramna, and if it's connected also with fa'il madi, but where the fa'il is mentioned, then it will be in the position of maf'ul bihi. What's left is these 3 ضمائر. يا المتكلم, كتابي, كاف المخاطب, كتابك, هاء الغائب, كتابه. These 3, they can be in the position of who can tell me? We said here these 3 pronouns, they can be in the position of jar, or do you see that? Here. They can be in the position of what? Jar or nasab. When are these pronouns in the position of jar? I just gave you the rule, guys, huh? When are they in the position of jar?
When they are connected to a noun.
Exactly. Any pronoun connected to an ism, خلاص, it's in the position of jar mudaf ilayh. Tamam? Kitabi, kitabuka, kitabuhu means it's the book of mine, the book of his, the book of hers, the book of yours. So again, it's the word after of, if you remember when we talked about mudaf ilayh, right? And these are the possessive pronouns. His book, my book, your book. And we'll come to them with the details and examples, inshallah, next time. And finally, they'll be in the position of nasab when will they be in the position of nasab? Anyone can guess?
Connected to a fi'l.
Exactly. When they are connected to a fi'l, they'll be in the position of nasab maf'ul bihi. They'll be in the position of nasab maf'ul bihi. Akramani, a'tani, a'taytuka, I gave you, a'taytuhu, I gave him, etc. They'll be in the position of, and they'll be in the position of jar also if they connect to a harf al-jar. We already learned that. اوكي سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك اشهد ان لا اله الا انت استغفرك واتوب اليك صلى اللهم على سيدنا محمد واله واصحابه اجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين. We covered all the pronouns, but we will go back to those types that we did not study a lot, which are the ones in the position of nasab and jar and na. We'll just take more examples, but we took some examples of all, but we're gonna spend more time on those ones, and by this any pronoun, you should know any pronoun, inshallah. I'll send you some homework to do so that you can start practicing those. I'm going to focus more on the old ones, but you should be able to look up any pronoun, inshallah, by now. Let me know if you have any questions. Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum. Barakallahu feekum.
Assalamu alaikum.